My name is Kerri, and I'm here to say that it's time to do some quarantine cooking today. Let's get started. You know we should. We're gonna make something that tastes so good. Hey everybody, it's me, Kerri, in case you didn't know, again with another quarantine cooking. So today we're gonna use tortillas 3 different ways. We're gonna make quesadillas, we're gonna make tortilla chips that are savory, and tortilla chips that are sweet. So I'm gonna really quickly turn my oven on to 350 to heat up, and then while that gets started, I'm gonna wash my hands. Hope you guys are all doing well, staying healthy. I can't believe how long it's been since we've seen each other in person, but I hear those games are fun. Was able to go to one, but not the other ones, because I, fortunately, am back to work. So, I'm going to give my hands a quick wash. Make sure everything's clean. Okay. So, here we go. Remember, the oven is preheating at 350 degrees. I'm also going to start some butter melting. Now, I don't have a microwave. Shocker. And so, in order to melt the butter, I'm going to use this little pan, and I'm going to melt it on the stove. So, I'm just going to do like a tablespoon. I don't even know that I'm going to need that much, but I'm going to put a tablespoon in this little pan on the stove to melt really quickly. And if you have a microwave, make sure you use a microwave safe container, which is not metal, to melt some butter in your microwave. I'm also going to turn on the heat. So I have this pan right here, which is I think 10 inches. To do the quesadillas in. So I'm just going to turn the heat under that burner so that the pan can start heating up. Kind of have it at a medium low. Mine is electric, so if yours is gas, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to I need to save 2 of the tortillas. 1, 2 for my quesadilla. So I'm just going to put those over here. I'm going to this is just a 6 count. So I'm going to take 2 more tortillas, 1, 2, and I'm going to cut them into triangles for the tortillas. Again, remember how I'm a lazy cook? So I took a cookie sheet and I covered it with foil. Otherwise, I'd have to clean it and wash it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take this tortilla and cut it in half. So I'm going to cut the circle in half first. Aching. Then I'm going to cut that into, I think, 4ths. So I'm going to cut each half. That's half in half again. And then I'm going to cut that into another half. So I will have 8 chips. There's the chips. And I'm going to put them on the cookie sheet just to hang out while I cut the other one. If you use a sharp knife, I think you could probably cut these with a butter knife. They're not too thick. You could use a different size of tortilla. These are, I don't know. These are, it just says 6, so I don't know what size these are. So I'm going to cut the other ones, because remember, I'm doing them 2 different ways. I'm also keeping an eye on the butter melting. So I'm looking away. Okay, so I have those all cut, and I'm just going to throw those on the pan. So in order to make the sweet ones, those are going to be cinnamon sugar. So I have a little dish here. I'm not really using a lot of or any really measuring cups. I'm just gonna put some sugar. Yep, the ginormous jar of sugar is back. I'm just gonna take some, put it in a bowl. Not too much. I kind of don't want a lot of extra. And some cinnamon that I have. And I'm just gonna start with, the butter's almost done melting. Just gonna take a little bit. I just have a spoon here. Just gonna take a spoonful. Oop, you can hear that. Take a spoonful, put it in with the sugar. Oop, no, I'm gonna need more sugar. That's too much cinnamon. And, okay, so I'm gonna take the butter is melted, so I'm taking that off the heat because it was starting to sizzle a little bit. So I'm just gonna mix the cinnamon and the sugar together. I don't know if you can see that. The cinnamon sugar. Sometimes I like to taste it. That's when I'm only cooking for myself. Okay, so I have the cinnamon sugar. That's ready to go. The butter is melted. So I'm going to take the cookie sheet that I put the tortillas on that we cut, or that I cut. I'm just going to try and put it here so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. I turned the burner off that was melting the butter. It was important. So I'm going to space these out a little bit. Again, I'm only doing the 8 that I cut. If you wanted to do more and do more, like, do you. So I have a little brush like this, and on only half of them I'm going to put butter. So I'm going to put butter on 8 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to flip them over, the ones that have butter, and do the other side so that they will have butter on both sides. Okay? I'll make sure that the tortillas, the triangle tortillas, do not touch, because then they won't bake properly. So like all the places won't get baked on there. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside for 1 second. I'm gonna take the cinnamon sugar, and yep, this is my house. These are for me. I'm just gonna sprinkle it on with my fingers, as little or as much as you want. I know myself that I'm gonna want a lot. And then let me do these a little bit, and then I will show you what they look like. And I am like super messy on here. You just want to kind of make sure that it covers the butter. Also a bonus of putting the foil on the pan. And again, I'm going to, let me show you the one side of these so you can see. Yep, they're there. These are the ones with the cinnamon sugar. I'm going to flip them over, and since these are already buttered, I don't need to butter them again. But I'm going to do cinnamon sugar on this side as well. Okay, making sure that they don't touch. Okay, so again, with my hands, my fingers, I'm going to pinch some up and sprinkle that on there. All over. And then when I'm all done, I will show you, and then we'll do the savory ones. So that's my oven. It's all heated up. It is ready to bake these tortilla chips. Okay, that's good. And I will show you these. See, I didn't even use it all. I still have a little bit left. Oh, you can't see that. But I still have a little bit left. I don't know. Oh, there you go. I did not use all that I made. There's a little bit left. So these are done. These are the cinnamon sugar ones. You can see that's these on this side. Now I'm also going to do a savory one. And instead of butter, I'm going to use oil on the savory ones. So I'm going to flip this so that it's a little bit easier to reach. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in this little bowl that I have. Just a little bit. Don't need a lot. In there, and I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the butter. I'm just going to put oil on both sides of the tortilla. So here we go. And remember, the pan for the quesadilla is still heating. It should be all ready. So after I put these in the oven to bake, we can get started on the tortilla. I mean, the quesadilla. Ooh, which is made with the tortilla. Just super fun to say. Okay, so again, I did one side. I'm going to flip them over and do the other side. I'm going to oil the other side. I did not use that whole tablespoon of butter, just so you know, in case you're wondering. Again, not a lot of like stringent rules on this, like specific measurements, whatever sounds good to you. And as you cook more, you'll just get used to following your own instincts. Okay, so that's done with that. So on mine, I'm going to use salt, just plain old regular salt. And I like to put some garlic powder on mine, so that's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to be the one eating them. So I just put a little bit in my hand. Just put some salt in my hand like that. And then I just kind of, like, I hold my hand up high and I just start, like, sprinkling it all over. If you watch the fancy cooking shows, they always say to do it from up high. Sometimes I get a little nervous. You notice I probably started higher at first and then I got lower. So since I still have salt in my hand, I'm going to flip these over and salt the other side, and then I'll do the garlic next. I've also sometimes put pepper, just a tiny bit of pepper, like hardly any at all. Just a little bit. Again, that's up to you. If you want more salt, use more salt. If you want more pepper, add more pepper. If you want to use no garlic at all, if you want to do just salt, if you don't even have to put anything on them. So I'm just gonna shake some garlic on each of these. This is garlic powder. They also have something called garlic salt, so that's kind of a twofer. If you have garlic salt, then you could just do it all at once. No separate salt and garlic. It's just already at once. Okay, so I'm going to flip these over and do the other side, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like. And as you remember, the oven is heated to 350 degrees. Okay, so that's ready to go. I'm going to put the, let me show you. So as you can see, there we go. One side is the cinnamon sugar and one side is, just for me, is the salt and the garlic. You again would put on it what you wanted. So I'm just going to put it in the oven. And then, see, that's stuck there. So I'm going to set my timer, the hamburger timer, again for 5 minutes so I don't forget about them. It's a problem. If you forget about them, they will burn and that will not be good. Okay, so this should be heated up. I'm just going to go. I don't know if you could hear that. This pan might be a little bit too hot. So I'm going to take it off for a minute just to let it cool because I did turn this burner off. This is where I melted the butter. And it's cool. It's fine. So I have decided, I just got this at Safeway. This is called, it's called Mexican Style Fortis Blend. I'm going to hold it a little bit closer so you can see these are a little bit bigger. It's a little bit thicker of a shred. Again, use what you want. If you want to use just cheddar cheese, go ahead and use just cheddar cheese. If you want to use mozzarella cheese, use whatever you like. So in addition to, mine's just going to be tortilla and cheese, and I have decided, I had some cherry tomatoes. So I sliced some up. So I'm going to put some cherry tomatoes on mine. You could add, if you're going to add certain vegetables, you might want to cook them first. Like onion, you're going to want to cook first because it doesn't take very long to cook in the pan. You could use chicken that's already cooked and shredded into bite-sized pieces. You could put that. All right, so I'm going to put the pan back on the stove. I'm going to take one tortilla. Actually, I'm going to put just a little bit of butter in the bottom of the pan. Makes me feel better. I don't want anything to, and I use this. This is silicone. So I'm going to tell you something. I was making something this morning, and I used a brush that was not silicone, and it kind of melted right off. So I'm just going to, So there we go. Just took the tortilla. I'm going to put it in the pan that I put just a little bit. You could use butter. You could use oil. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to take the cheese, and again, this is to your taste. I am gonna just cover it, and I think I will be able to show you this, what it looks like for me. This is to your taste. If you like a lot of cheese, put a lot of cheese. If you like a little cheese, put a little bit of cheese. You could also, if you wanted to, probably add some spices. I'm just going to see if you can see that. There it is. Oops, without it coming out of the pan. There it is. I'm also going to put my tomatoes. Just gonna sprinkle those around. I guess you could equate it to also, it's like pizza. So just gonna sprinkle these around and spread them out. There we go. And then I'm gonna take the other tortilla and just put it right on top. And then I'm gonna let that cook, and I'm gonna let the cheese melt. I don't really have a time for this one. I'm just gonna kind of keep an eye on it and see what happens. Kind of like making grilled cheese, if you've ever made grilled cheese. It's a little bit like that. So while we're waiting, I'm gonna clean up just a little bit. Put the oopsies, that was loud. Olive oil away. I'm gonna put the cinnamon away. I'm gonna put my salt away. I'm gonna put my sugar way back here where it goes. Ooh, right back there. That gets put away. I can put these in the sink because I am done with them. And that can go in the sink. I'm actually gonna save that little bit of cinnamon sugar. Sometimes I use the cinnamon sugar also on toast. So it's just checking the time. It's almost time to check those tortilla chips. Oh, speak of the devil. I'm gonna check the tortilla chips in the oven and see how they're looking. Ooh, hot. Let me open that. Ooh, and I can smell the garlic. So I'm gonna pull these out so you can see. Also, I'm just taking a quick look at the quesadilla. It's looking good. So you can see a little bit. They don't really turn. They're still a little flippy floppy. I'm actually going to turn them over and put them back in the oven. See if they'll crisp up. So I'm gonna just use my fingers. They're not super hot. If you are uncomfortable using your fingers, so I'm just doing it super quick, you could use a fork or a spatula to do the same thing. Again, making sure they don't touch. I'm going to put them back in the oven. Probably for another 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to set my timer again because I don't want to forget that they're in there. And I'm looking at the tortilla. Oh yeah, the cheese is melting. So, because I want the tomatoes to get warm as well, I think, let's see if I can try to flip this baby. So I got a spatula, and I'm going to see what happens. Oh, I'm scared. 1, 2, 3. Flip! Oh, nice. So I'm going to take this off so you can see it. This is what it looks like after I flipped it. So I'm going to put it back in there because I want it to also, for myself, just let it crisp up a little bit on that second side while it cooks. Do a little more cleaning up after myself. That had the tomatoes in it. I do try to clean up as I go. Not super great at it. But I try to keep an eye on things as I go so that they don't. That way it's easier at the end. I would put the cheese away, but where I have my little filming station set up is right here. That's my refrigerator. This is my refrigerator. So I really can't open it right now. You know what? Maybe I can. I'm going to put this cheese away. Oh, there it goes. I thought I wasn't going to be able to open that because my little filming station that I set up is right next to my fridge. Okay, I'm actually going to let the heat of the pan cook this a little bit. So I'm going to actually turn it down just to a low so that it's still cooking. It's still warm. I can still keep an eye on it. That's getting nice and melty. I can see that the cheese is melting. And trying to get those quesadillas, not the quesadillas, the tortilla chips that are in the oven to finish cooking up so that you can see what those look like. I'm going to check those in another couple minutes. I'm going to continue to try and clean up after myself. So like I was saying this morning, when I used the brush, I was making myself some pancakes this morning, and I decided to brush some butter in the pan before I made them, and I used a brush that had more plastic bristles on it, and it melted right in there. So, what are you gonna do? I think this is done. I'm gonna take just a quick peek underneath to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's done. I'm gonna flip it one more time. So this was the bottom. when we put it in. This was the top when we put it in. So you can see it got a little bit crispy. I'm actually going to pull it off the heat. And it's keeping warm from my stove right there because it doesn't need to cook anymore. So just a couple more minutes. I might take a quick peek just to see how these are doing. Hold on one second. Ooh. These are done. So the ones that are cinnamon sugar are taking a little bit longer, but these ones with just the savory ones that have the salt and the garlic on them are cooking a little bit faster. So I don't know, you can probably hear because you can't see. I took the tray and I spun it. So the garlic and salt ones were on this side and I spun the tray so now that they're on this side. I think it's to give it even cooking. I don't know. That's what they say on the fancy cooking shows. This isn't a fancy cooking show. This is like we're all stuck at home trying to make something to eat. This actually quesadilla was requested. So if you make this and you like it and there's something else you'd like to make, please put it in the comments and we'll see what we can do. I'm trying. I know the first one that we did with the cookies was not healthy. So I'm also trying to make them just a little bit healthier for you guys and for me as well because I'm going to eat the results of this. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit healthier. All right, I'm going to give those, I'm going to take them out so you can see again what they look like. It's hard to tell. These are not quite done yet. So let's see what they look like. These not almost done. They're still a little bit, flippy floppy and hot. These are a little bit more. I can tell that they're not quite tortilla chips yet. So I think I'm gonna flip them one more time and put them back in the oven. This shouldn't be. This is like super close. This is just be a couple minutes. So I did 5 minutes. I flipped them. I did another 5 minutes. I'm flipping them again. And these should be done in the next couple minutes. So, I wish I knew some jokes off the top of my head. I don't. I only know the ones that you guys all know. I'm pretty sure I've told it to all of you. What's the hippopotamus's favorite spot to sit? On its hippopotamus. Ba-dum-bum-ching. I wish I knew some more. Because I just need a couple more minutes for this to finish. I hope you guys are all staying healthy and well and washing your hands. Oh my gosh, I went back to work this week. Whew, with the kids. For those of you who know it, or if those of you who don't, I teach preschool and we went back with kids. And I thought I washed my hands a lot before. Holy schmolies. I swear, it seems like I'm washing my hands every 5 seconds. It is constant. And the kids are washing their hands. And this one girl learned the meaning of the word annoyed. She's like, what's annoying? And I had to tell her, you know how you feel when you have to wash your hands all the time? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that's when you're feeling annoyed. So that's what she learned this past week was the word annoyed. So I'm just going to give that a couple minutes. I'm actually going to turn the oven off because the heat of the oven is going to finish the cooking. And I don't want to turn it off till you guys see what they look like when they're all the way done. At least it's sunny today. That was good. It was raining yesterday. Ooh, thunder and lightning storm. Holy cow. All right, let me check them really quick. This is where I get impatient. This is my problem. So opening and closing. Oh yeah, those are done. I think these are done. So I'm gonna say, like, again, no specific time. Your oven might work different than mine. So I can tell that these feel, ouch, more like a tortilla chip. And they're hot. You probably don't want to do that. Maybe not the best decision I made all day. These might not quite be done. No, these are good. I'm going to leave them out. One, so they can cool so I can eat them. And two, so these are the cinnamon sugar ones. There they are. This is the one that we did with just the garlic and the salt. Again, you do what you do. Okay, so that's it. We used tortillas 3 different ways. We made a savory tortilla chip, a sweet tortilla chip, and quesadillas. Hope you guys all enjoyed this. I hope you get a chance to try and make it. Stay healthy and well. Keep washing your hands. And I miss you guys so much. I hope to see you sooner rather than later. All right, have a nice day. Bye, everybody.